Morgan Wallen with The Way I Talk. CVT Guitar Lesson for Joel. Cool song, Joe. And I went in and put the solo in it. I don't know if you wanted it in there, but I think I set this up good for you because when we get to the verse, because there's two guitars, the section 1 is played through the verse, but there's also a second guitar that's more solid and it'll be easier to sing over. So you'll see what I mean. The very beginning, if you wanted it, it's the E major, open 2, 2, 1. And he's strumming it. Now there's a few ways to do this. You can manually do it. In the studio they can just do the faders and fade it in, but this is old school here. I like having control of that. So you would strum it with the volume off, and then with your pinky or whatever, you just fade that in. Just a cool little thing. And now that you're getting into the recording and all that good stuff. So yeah. By the way, any of you other people that are watching this, Joel, a friend of mine and a student of mine, good guitar player and singer, be sure to go subscribe and check out his channel. It'll be in the edits. J. Keller Music. Good stuff, man. If you like country, check him out. So that's at 4 seconds in, that E major. We are in standard tuning. I think I didn't say that. So good thing I remember now. Section 1 is 7 seconds in. This is really cool here. You're going to palm mute string 6. So you know how to palm mute. Right back here by the bridge. Open E twice. And then you're going to play the open E and B string 2 times. Kind of staccato the first one. And then do it again, but do a hammer on to fret 2 on the B string. The trick to this is, because I know you can do your hammer-ons, and I know I've showed you double stops and stuff. It's the above finger here, or the only finger in this case, not muting the high E string that should be ringing out open. You'll see the hold mark in your tabs. So you don't want to go, now we're only hearing one string. We need, pretty important for this sound. So that's going to go twice. Then we move over to the 2nd fret on the top string, the low E. We're going to palm mute that twice. Go ahead and bar it all the way across, because you're going to need the 2nd fret on the D and G string now. Hit those staccato. Second one, hit it. Hammer on to 4D. Oops. And the same thing applies here. When you hammer on, you don't want it getting in the way of the 2G, like I just did a second ago. So start over. That goes 2 times through, and then section 2, 21 seconds in. Now this is where I told you there's 2 guitar parts. One of them is the one you just learned. Now you can play that through the verse, Joel, or do the other guitar, which if I was singing and playing it, I'd be doing this guitar right here. 2D, 4G, and 5B. We're going to strum it 8 times. In your tabs I wrote 4 times, double dots. Same difference, 8 times, right? Make sure you're going, we want, I'm not lifting the pressure up off these. Sometimes when we go to mute something, us players, we want to lift up pressure. Don't do that. Just, I mean you can, but it makes sense to just leave everything pressed hard there and stop it over here with your palm, like you're palm muting. Love this change up here. Keep the pinky, well, did I show you this? 2D, 4G, and 5B. That's 8 times, right? Basically, we're just gonna leave the pinky here and flip this chord upside down. Invert it to 4D and 2G. Make sure you hear 3 strings and go 8 times. Again. Does it 4 times. 4th time, no star. So you'll go, and that's it. If you're still having trouble singing and playing that with the staccato beat, I mean, there's always alternatives, right? You could just go and sing over that. The less that's going on here, when we're first getting used to singing and playing. Not even always at first. It depends what the riff is, but you know, you can simplify what you're playing. But I think you'll be fine with the. All right, section 3, 49 seconds in. It's our standard E major chord. It's open E, 2A, 2D, 1G, open B, open E. And what I used in your tabs, I wanted to show you kind of a little different technique. I may have showed you in the past. They're strum markers. So I wrote the E major chord out, 0, 2, 2, 1, 0, 0. And well, you don't have to hit the high E, or you can. I don't have it marked in your tabs, but I wrote it, and then I put 7 strum markers next to it. So that's going to be 8 total times, counting the numbers and then the 7 markers. It'll go. Comes in at 49 seconds in. I kind of wanted to check my tempo really quick on that, so I think I shall. Yep. So you can count it 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 8 times on all these. Okay, your next chord is a B major, 2A, barred 4th fret, D, G, and B, or you can use 3 fingers, or you can use your pinky to bar, or your 3rd. Doesn't matter. Make sure you're muting string 6 with the index. Same thing, 8 times. C sharp minor is next. Bar the 4th fret from the A string down. 6D, 6G, and 5B. 8 times. A major, just bar the 2nd fret, D, G, and B, and hit the open A with it. With my thumb, I like to mute string 6. 8 times. You do all of that 2 times, 2nd time no star. So the star comes in on the 2nd strum marking of the A major. So here's what I'll play from the C sharp minor. Here's what the 4th time would sound like. Just strum the A and let it ring, which is cool. It's a nice little setup to go back into our repeats, which come in at a minute 17 in, section 1 and 2, and then minute 38, section 3, and then the solo. Like I said, I went ahead and showed you that. It sounds like they used 2 guitars. One played the root, and the other did the octave of that. But I put them together for you. So it's going to be an octave. You'll go 11G muted D, 13G. You're going to strum and bend it a half step. So 1 fret. You're going to go bend, release, bend, release. And then move it over to 7A muted D, 9G. Hold on here. Okay, back the distortion off a little bit. So we have, still too heavy. And then go back. So we have, jump right back up to the A flat or G sharp octave, and bend, release again. And then middle finger 12B, slide to 17. So we have. Then you're going to repeat that. We're going to change the last note though. Oops. Dang it. This time start on 12B and slide up to 19. And use your dots for stopping points. So first one went, oops, I'm passing it. And then we go back again with a different slide note. This one will be on the high E string, 12 to 16, so our target is in between the dots. And then we turn it over. And this is different here, 9B. You're going to go pick, bend, release, half step to 9G. Just shift the index up rather than use 2 fingers. And then 11G, we're going to bend it a whole step. And then 12B. So we have. pre-bend release 11G, so it's still up here, to 9G. Now that 9G has parentheses around it because it's the downbeat. It's actually the start of the next section, which happens to be called section 4. And you'll see it's kind of a tag off of the chorus. So if you're gonna, in the solo and it's just you playing, I don't know if I'd end on the I'd go, which is our next chord, then E5. So open E, 2A, just power chords. 2A, 4D, 4A, 6D, open A, 2D. And then I double dotted that 2 times. You'll see why when you hear the song. Series of repeats coming in 247. It'll be section 3, 1 time, no star. And after that, or in place of, I should say, as you're playing, you're going, or strum the A, you'll see where it says no star, but then in your tabs, you'll see an A2 chord. And you know that chord, open A, 2 D and G, open B and E. So you'd go 301 in, we got section 1, 2 times, so you're just basically back to this part. And then we'll end it with this really full E chord. Not Igor, but E chord. You don't want Igor. Open E, barred 2nd fret, A and D, 4G. This gives you a fat ending, right? And it's not this one. It's... you can rock out and go. Alright, Joel, as usual, it's always a pleasure, man, doing these for you. And I'm assuming I'll start seeing some of these on your YouTube channel. So, like I said, anyone else that's here, go over, subscribe to Joel's channel, J Keller Music, follow him on social media and all that good stuff.